The Senate will come to order. I ask everyone to please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to take a moment of silence in honor of Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lisichinsky, who were killed last night, staff of the Israeli Embassy in D.C. Reading of the journal.
In Senate, Wednesday, May 21st, 2025, the Senate met pursuant to adjournment. The Journal of Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 was read and approved. On motion, the Senate adjourned.
Without objection, the journal stands approved as read. Presentations of petitions. Messages from the Assembly. Secretary will read.
Senator Hoylman Siegel moves to discharge from the Committee on Environmental Conservation, Assembly Bill number 1819, is substituted for the identical Senate Bill 3163, third reading calendar 768. Senator Jackson moves to discharge from the Committee on Insurance, Assembly Bill number 3028, is substituted for the identical Senate Bill 4674A, third reading calendar 922.
So ordered. Reports from the governor, messages from the governor, reports of standing committees, reports of select committees, communications and reports from state officers, motions and resolutions. Senator Gianaris.
Good afternoon, Madam President. I wish to call up the following bills which were recalled from the Assembly and are now at the desk. Senate Bills 488 and 4433.
Secretary will read.
Calendar number 204, Senate Print 488 by Senator Fernandez, an act to amend the general business law. Calendar number 322, Senate Print 4433 by Senator Skoufis, an act to amend the general business law.
Move to reconsider the vote by which these bills were passed.
The Secretary will call the roll on reconsideration.
Addabbo, Gianaris, Kruger, Ort, Sue Cousins, White, ayes 52.
The bill is restored to its place on the third reading calendar.
Now for the following amendments.
The amendments are received.
Please take up Resolution 768. Read that resolution's title and recognize Senator Webb on that resolution.
The Secretary will read.
Resolution 768 by Senator Webb, congratulating the Binghamton High School boys basketball team upon the occasion of winning the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Class AA Championship on March 21st, 2025.
Senator Webb on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise today with immense patriot pride and excitement to recognize an exceptional group of student athletes from my own alma mater, Binghamton High School. On March 21st, 2025, the Binghamton High School boys basketball team made history by winning the state championship, Class AA championship, in a very spectacular fashion. And I want to take a moment to describe what happened leading up to that night in the course of events that night. So this team made it to the final championship through an action-filled journey, most certainly with their sportsmanship and many doubts if they would make it. And so the night of the championship game, I had the pleasure to be in the arena. It was a sold-out game, 5,000 people from all over the city, all over the county came to witness this game. Now, it wasn't just simply that it was a sold-out arena. Who all was in the audience was just as important as the team. So in the audience that night were previous team members who had won the state championship for Binghamton High School 39 years prior. We had coaches, cheerleaders, family members, everyone was there. And so the team, led by their outstanding coaches, brought the victory home. It was a well-fought, and I do mean fought, victory. The game was filled with some very questionable calls, not with regards to the Binghamton Patriots, but despite all of those challenges, what the team demonstrated that night was that not only were they exemplifying their incredible athletic skills, but they truly demonstrated what it means to understand the assignment. And so they won in double overtime and brought to the forefront for 2025 and brought home a championship win that was 39 years in the making. It was a heart-pounding, stress-induced double overtime showdown, but the Patriots triumphed over Niskayuna with a final score of 75-61. I was very proud to be there, and not just simply to be in the arena that night, but also having had the opportunity to actually give the team their championship medals. I want to thank their coaches that are here today as well, and their families, for all of the support that they have given to this outstanding team. As a proud Binghamton alum, this accomplishment is very special to me because this high school is a school that I walked all of those halls, attended games in the gym, had family members who played for Binghamton, and I know just how much the spirit, the grit, and resilience that flows through the Binghamton community. This championship is more than a title, it is a reflection of who we are. The team finished with an impressive 20-3 record, which is a testament to their unwavering commitment and focus. Led by the outstanding coach, Duncan Paddock, who is here in the chamber today, and his dedicated coaching staff, joined today by Coach Mike Constantine and others. These young men played with heart, hustle, and purpose. They showed what is possible when preparation meets determination. This championship was not just a win on the scoreboard, it was a testament to the power of teamwork, preparation, and belief. The fans, families, and the entire Binghamton community rallied behind you, proudly wearing red, white, and blue all the way to the final buzzer. Madam President, on the occasion of this resolution, I am truly proud to welcome several distinguished guests to the chamber today. Members of the Binghamton High School boys basketball team who brought this championship home. Today with us in the chamber is head coach Duncan Paddock, Coach Mike Constantine, Yuzuri Razak, Zubair Griffin, Corian Noble, Kamal Abdul Aziz, Ilias Morgan, Derek Abu Jr., Ben Andrusik, Connor Andrusik, Elijah Johnson, Milo Wilson, Devontae Santiago, Jaden Remplet, Sean Remplet, Jalon Cook, Isaiah Selby, Zahir Marshall, and Kashawn Fleming. To all of you, thank you for showing us what excellence looks like, not just on the court, but in the classroom and beyond. What you have done and what you continue to do, you make your school, our city, and in our state proud. To Coach Paddock and Constantine, your leadership, your mentorship, and passion are a gift to this team and to the entire Binghamton community. You've built something truly special. The victory was about more than just basketball. It was about pride, perseverance, and unity. The support from family, friends, and the entire Binghamton community, decked out in those proud Patriot colors, made this journey unforgettable. Congratulations to the 2025 State Class AA champions, the boys, Binghamton High School boys basketball team. And with that, Madam President, I ask that you welcome these distinguished guests to our chamber and extend them all the courtesies of the House. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Webb. Senator Bailey on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. Last night was a really tough night for those of us who are observing the ministry of basketball. But it is always the right time to celebrate student athletes. It is always important to make sure that we uplift them, especially those who bring championships home, because championships are a culmination, right? Like, you get the gold ball, you get the trophy, you get the victory at the end, but that's at the end of the road. That's not showing the practice time that went into it, the hours that went into perfecting the jump shot, the defensive drills, the conditioning drills, all of those things that go into creating a formula for the championship, recipe, so to speak. It really shows you how hard this is. And during the course of the regular season, bumps and bruises go throughout, but you persevere. And so I want to put a finer point on student athletes. You're not being paid for this. I hope that you go on to greener pastures if that is what you want to do. But balancing your educational responsibilities along with being a championship level basketball player is something that is not easy. So you should be very proud of yourselves for that hard level of work that you've been able to do. Since you're not in my region, I hope that you repeat. unless it is that you play one of the schools from my district, and then, we'll have to see you when we see you. But in all seriousness, I applaud you for coming up here, and I really do hope that you continue the path of greatness that you're already on. Sports is, without a doubt, the world's greatest social currency because, again, it brings people together from different walks of life that may have never had a conversation. And I hope that you keep that spirit with you in your next step, whether that be on the hardwood in the NCAA or in the NBA or overseas or wherever basketball takes you. Just continue to know that you're champions in the heart. And then Senator Webb said, I want to thank you. You mentioned that the great King Rice went to Binghamton. I'm a UNC Tar Heel, so that's especially heartening. I'm a big fan of the Tar Heels, so it's good to see that championship DNA never left the 607. So, Madam President, I congratulate the Binghamton team for their great championship. May you repeat, again, unless you play one of my schools. And in all seriousness, congratulations, and onward and upward. I vote aye on the resolution.
Bailey. To our guests, the champions from the Binghamton High School boys basketball team, we welcome you to the Senate on behalf of our members. We extend to you the privileges and courtesies of the House. Please rise and be recognized. The resolution was previously adopted on April 29th. Senator Gianaris.
Let's take up previously adopted Resolution 491 by Senator Steck. Read that resolution's title and recognize Senator Steck, please.
The Secretary will read.
Resolution 491 by Senator Steck, congratulating Forrest Slingerland upon the occasion of capturing the 2025 New York State Public High School Athletic Association Boys Nordic Skiing 7.5K Individual Championship.
Senator Steck on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. It's always wonderful to recognize and welcome people from the district to the chamber, as it is for all of us, and especially our student athletes, to commemorate an achievement in their scholastic athletic career. And today, I'm very happy to have Forrest Slingerland here to join us. In February 24th of this year, he won the 7.5-kilometer individual Nordic ski at the Ski Bowl in North Creek. For those of you that don't know where North Creek is, the base of Gore Mountain, famous Gore Mountain that we all here in this chamber are familiar with from our budget discussions. But he won with a winning time of 25 minutes and 0.7 seconds, and he defeated the second place finisher by 45 seconds. So a comfortable victory for him. He was the state runner-up last year, but this year he was able to bring home the championship. He's a graduating senior from Glens Falls. He'll be attending Bates College in Maine, where he will continue to have cold weather, lots of snow, and more skiing ahead of him in his career. He's joined by his parents today, who wear two hats. Not only did they raise him, it was mom and dad, but the mom is the head coach and the dad is the assistant coach. So if Forrest would please rise, and his mom, Emily, and his father, Tucker, would rise with him. Madam President, if you would extend your congratulations on behalf of the Senate to Forrest for his wonderful achievement here in Nordic skiing this year.
Absolutely, Senator Steck. To Forrest Slingerland and to your family, congratulations on your extraordinary achievement. We welcome you on behalf of the Senate. Please stand and be recognized. The resolution was previously adopted on March 18th. Senator Gianaris.
Madam President, you know what time it is. It's time to stick with Steck. Previously adopted Resolution 586. Read its title and recognize once again Senator Steck.
Secretary will read.
Resolution 586 by Senator Steck, congratulating the Glens Falls High School boys basketball team upon the occasion of capturing the 2025 New York State Public High School Athletic Association Class A Boys Basketball Championship.
Senator Steck on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I want to thank the Senate leader here for the shout out, and my social media team will be using that and lifting that, and we'll be seeing that in future social media. So thank you for sticking with Steck again. But in all kidding aside, no, that's not kidding, you'll see that. Madam President, I'm delighted again. It's always wonderful to have guests here, and especially our student athletes. And it's, to quote Yogi Berra, it's deja vu all over again. The Glens Falls Black Bears were here last year after a 27-0 perfect season. They had a couple seniors leave. They had some freshmen move in. Different members, same result, 27-0 again. Class A champions repeat, 54 wins in a row. That's a Section 2 record that they share with Lake George. If they win their season opener next year, which they better, Coach, they will break that record. But you know, to go through 2 consecutive perfect seasons, that's something that, you know, I know Senator Bailey is a big fan of all things sports, and you know, I know he in particular he loves basketball. So I know, you know, these are major achievements, and you know, team of young guys that come together, listen to their coaches. That's always, as a parent, right? We love that when they're taking direction and working together. And but to come together and be as successful as they are, the only thing that wasn't quite as perfect this year compared to last year is that last year the state championships were the Glens Falls Civic Center. They won in front of a home crowd. This year they were in Binghamton, so they had to go on the road. But you know, a lot of people from Glens Falls follow them. They've been following them for years. They're well coached. They're hardworking kids. And again, you can't argue with the results. 2 27-0 back-to-back state championship seasons. So if I could, I'll just briefly introduce the team. The members are Jordan Baker, Jacob Barber, Michael Blakely, Jake Burns, Kellen Driscoll, Brody Holcomb, Oscar Lilac, Luke McDougall, Rafael Malandano, Bryce McClenning, Chase McTague, Aiden Pruntney, Colin Woodle, Jeffrey Woodle, Coach Rob Gerard, Assistant Coach Cam Gerard, and Claire Seigan is the basketball student manager. Again, congratulations, team, on a wonderful back-to-back perfect season, state championships. We're all proud of you. We expect you to continue on and continue to do great things as some of you again graduate, and some of you are going to come back and try to three-peat. So again, Madam President, if you would congratulate them, and please extend the cordialities of the Senate to this wonderful basketball state championship team.
Thank you, Senator Steck. Senator Chris Ryan on the resolution.
Well, certainly, Senator Steck, thank you for bringing the resolution. And I'm going to support this, but I can only support it mildly. And I'll tell you why. Because for the past 2 years, Glens Falls has bounced a team called West Hill High School out of the regionals 2 years in a row. West Hill is my high school alma mater, where my children go to school. My son played on the team. We didn't play you, fortunately, because we were in Class B, but had we been in A, we would have lost for certain. But no, a lot of tremendous respect. 54-0 in A is quite an accomplishment. And, you know, the coach of the West Hill team is a very good friend of mine. My son, his son, play sports together. And, you know, he's won a number of state championships, as you know, we have in Class B, but a lot of great things to say about your team, how good you are in the character. So congratulations on 2 phenomenal seasons. And maybe we moved Glens Falls because they're too good to Binghamton. I don't know. Was that? But anyway, congratulations.
Thank you, Senator Ryan. To our perfect season state champions from Glens Falls High School boys basketball team, we welcome you on behalf of the Senate. We extend to you the privileges and courtesies of the House. Please rise and be recognized. The resolution was previously adopted on April 2nd. Senator Gianaris.
Next up is a previously adopted resolution 522. Please read its title and recognize Senator Ashby on his resolution.
Please read the resolution.
Resolution 522 by Senator Ashby, congratulating Christian Jerome upon the occasion of capturing the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Boys Swimming and Diving Championship in the 100-yard butterfly on March 8, 2025.
Senator Ashby on the resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. It's wonderful to be joined today by Christian Jerome, a junior who won the New York State Championship in boys swimming and diving for the 100-yard butterfly. And my understanding with him is that he won it by 0.6 seconds, which doesn't sound like a big margin, but according to him and his coach, that's a pretty big margin. And being a junior, he has the opportunity next year to widen that margin, which I'm sure he will. In my conversations with him, this humble and driven young man is determined to do so, and I know that he's going to be back next year. It's not just about the medals or the trophies or the titles. It's about the work that's put in and day out, and this could be said for all of our student athletes that are here today, to attain not just that title, but that rank of where you are, that position. And it's something that isn't just applicable in sports, as I'm sure you're finding. It's going to drive you in other pursuits throughout your life. It's a real privilege to have you in this chamber here today. Christian is joined by his parents, Jude and Christy, and his brother, who's also his teammate, Jude, who I think is also pushing him to further greatness as well. He's joined by his coach, Rob McLeod, Hoosick Valley Athletic Director, Ben Capeless, Hoosick Valley Principal, Eric Papandrea, and Superintendent, James Burnmaster. Madam President, please welcome them and provide all the privileges and courtesies of the House.
Thank you, Senator Ashby. To Christian Jerome, your championship swimmer, and your family, your coaches, and your school community, we welcome you on behalf of the Senate. We extend to you the privileges and courtesies of the House. Please stay standing and be recognized. The resolution was previously adopted on March 25th. Senator Gianaris.
The sponsors of today's resolutions would like to open them for co-sponsorship.
The resolutions are open for co-sponsorship. Should you choose not to be a co-sponsor on the resolutions, please notify the desk. Senator Gianaris.
Please take out the calendar, Madam President.
The Secretary will read.
Calendar 379, Senate Print 1692A by Senator Ramos, an act to amend the correction law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Ready? Announce the results.
In relation to calendars 379, voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Borrello, Keziah Fitzpatrick, Chan, Griffo, Helming, Matera, Murray, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Ross, and Steck, Tedisco, Walzett, Weber, and White. Also Senator Oberacker. Also Senator Lanza. Ayes 38, nays 19.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 388, Senate Print 1290 by Senator Kruger, an act to amend the Financial Services Law.
Read the last section.
Section 6, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 388, voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Borrello, Chan, Matera, Oberacker, O'Mara, Ort, Palumbo, Rhodes, Steck, Tedisco, Walzett, and White. Ayes 44, nays 13.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 468, Senate Print 933 by Senator Gonzalez, an act to amend the state technology law.
Read the last section.
Section 5, this act shall take effect on the 90th day, it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Senator Gonzalez to explain her vote.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise today in strong support of this legislation, which underscores New York State's proactive commitment to both innovation and integrity in the age of artificial intelligence. AI is evolving faster than any of us could have predicted, and with that rapid acceleration comes an urgent responsibility. As this technology becomes more embedded in how we govern and serve, we must make sure we have the right leadership in place to guide its use with foresight, fairness, and accountability. The Chief AI Officer will be our statewide administration official for AI policy and oversight. Ensuring that we harness these tools, we are doing so with clear, ethical guardrails and centering the interests of everyday New Yorkers. This role is about setting standards and setting the tone for how New York State agencies evaluate and operate these tools, and it works towards building public trust and transparency. We cannot take a wait-and-see approach to AI, and at this moment, the federal government is threatening a 10-year moratorium on state enforcement of AI legislation. So I am very appreciative of our leader and this body for moving this bill. It certainly is the perfect way to end our AI week this year, and I proudly vote aye. Thank you so much.
Senator Gonzalez, to be recorded in the affirmative, announce results.
Ayes 57.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 610, Senate Print 6365 by Senator Salazar, an act to amend the correction law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Senator Salazar to explain her vote.
Thank you, Madam President. All of us here probably know the experience of being unpleasantly surprised by hidden fees and unexpected charges from the bank. But when formerly incarcerated individuals are released into community supervision, they are provided with the bare minimum, their gate money, any commissary funds that they might have, and often this is given to them in the form of a debit card with a balance on it. What is not provided to them right now under current law is the schedule of charges and fees that may be associated with that debit card's checking account. This bill would address that. This is a straightforward bill to help ensure that we are not adding yet another obstacle for formerly incarcerated individuals to overcome upon release as they seek to transition back into society. This bill will ensure that when someone is released into community supervision and they're trying to resume their normal life, that they have the tools that they need in order to be successful and reintegrate into society. So I'm proud to vote aye.
Senator Salazar to be recorded in the affirmative, announce the results.
In relation to calendar 610, voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Chan, Griffo, Oberacker, O'Mara, Steck, Wolzig, and Weber. Also, Senator Lanza. Ayes 48, nays 9. Pardon me. Also, Senator White. Ayes 47, nays 10.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 645, Senate Print 4906 by Senator Fahey, an act to amend the executive law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 120th day, it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White.
Senator Fahey to explain her vote.
Thank you, Madam President. This legislation is an important one to me because it ensures that health care workers who have often been in emergency rooms assaulted in trying to do their jobs, it gives them the options to file a police report statement at their workplace, removing unnecessary barriers, and I would hope improve workplace safety. Emergency rooms have become one of the most dangerous workplaces in our country, where healthcare providers have reported that 55% of physicians and 70% of nurses in ER rooms have reported being physically assaulted. Despite the frequent assaults, many of these incidences go unreported because the current process often requires victims to go to the police station in order to file a report requiring, and this is often after a long and exhausting shift. This legislation would allow them to file it on site and remove logistical and emotional burdens to filing those statements. Given the critical shortage that we have of nurses and other healthcare providers, we think this will help them with facing a less hostile space, and we hope would also assist us in hiring more who have faced very dangerous and volatile situations in very crowded ERs. So by providing them this additional avenue, we hope to hold offenders accountable, discourage more future attacks, and support these essential workers. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Fahey, to be recorded in the affirmative, announce the result.
Ayes 57.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 725, Senate Print 3781 by Senator Bridgeport, enactment of the Social Services Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 120th day, it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Senator Bridgeport to explain his vote.
Thank you, Madam President. Every day in New York State, a child enters the foster system carrying everything they own in a flimsy plastic trash bag. Many of these children will end up having to change homes over and over again, each time cramming their belongings back into a trash bag as their life is turned upside down. When you don't have much, what you do have is precious. For many foster children, their possessions are more than just objects. They are symbols of their identity, history, and worth. They are sources of pride and comfort in a system that so often robs these kids of both. Ensuring that young people in our foster care system are provided a suitcase to carry and protect their belongings is the literal least we can do for them. I look forward to seeing the Assembly pass this bill and seeing the governor sign it into law. I vote aye.
Senator Bridgeport to be recorded in the affirmative, announce the result.
Ayes 57.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 766, Senate Print 1676 by Senator Skoufis, an act to amend the Environmental Conservation Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect 1 year, it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
In relation to calendar 766, voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Borrello, Chan, Griffo, Helming, Martinez, Obarack, O'Mara, Ort, Rhodes, Steck, Walzig, Webbert, and White. Ayes 43, nays 14.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 768, Assembly number 1819 by Assembly Member Simon, an act to amend the Environmental Conservation Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the result.
Ayes 57.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 885, Senate Print 1746 by Senator Rivera, enactment of the Public Health Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 885, voted in the negative, Senator Walzig. Ayes 56, nays 1.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 902, Senate Print 6482 by Senator Webb, enactment of the Education Law.
Read the last section.
Section 3, this act shall take effect on the 180th day, it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 57.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 904, Senate Print 6744A by Senator Stavisky, enactment of the Education Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect on the 180th day, it shall become a law.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Thank you.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 904, voted in the negative are Senators Borrello, Griffo, Lanza, Martinez, Matera, Murray, Oberacker, Ort, Rhodes, Steck, Walzig, and White. Ayes 45, nays 12.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 922, Assembly number 3028 by Assembly Member DeLon, enactment of the Insurance Law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
Ayes 57.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 930, Senate Print 3699 by Senator Sanders, an act to amend the Facial Recognition Technology Study Act.
Read the last section.
Section 4, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Addabbo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Stewart Cousins, White.
Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 930, voted in the negative are Senators Rhodes, Wolzek, and White. Ayes 54, nays 3.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 936, Senate Print 1349A by Senator Clear, enactment of the education law.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect July 1st, 2026.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gennaro Schuster, Ort, Sewell-Cuttins, White.
Senator Claire to explain her vote.
Thank you, Madam President. This bill is called Every Child a Swimmer, and it is a direct response to the fact that drowning deaths in New York have been on the rise since 2019. According to the CDC, drowning is the #1 cause of death for children ages 1 through 4, and the second leading cause of unintentional injury and death for children aged 5 to 14. There's also a great inequity in drowning incidents that disproportionately affects Black children, youth, and adults. Therefore, this bill would require school districts to provide parents and guardians with information about water safety education courses and swimming lessons, thus promoting water safety awareness and reducing drownings and other water-related injuries among our children. Ensuring that all our children receive this information and connect to services and resources concerning water safety will save lives and hopefully also improve our collective quality of life and encourage champions like the young man we celebrated earlier today from Senator Ashby's district. So I proudly vote aye, and I ask all my colleagues to do the same.
Senator Claire to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 936, voted in the negative, Senator Wolzek. Ayes 56, nays 1.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 1005, Senate Print 4914B by Senator Hoyman Siegel, enactment of civil practice law and rules.
Read the last section.
Section 24, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Gennaro Schuster, Ort, Sewell-Cuttins, White.
Senator Hoyman Siegel to explain his vote.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to thank my colleagues and the leader for putting this important bill on the floor. You know, there are 19 states across our country that are restricting reproductive health care and 26 states that are restricting gender-affirming care. Reproductive freedom and gender justice are under an unprecedented attack. New York has to address these vulnerabilities that exist in our law and strengthen our legal defenses through this legislation. Our bill will create stronger protections for reproductive health care and gender-affirming care providers and helpers from being investigated and punished in 3 important ways. First, it's going to protect information about sensitive health care held by private institutions like hospitals, clinics, and nonprofits from being accessed by all of those hostile states outside of New York or from the federal government. Second, critically, it's going to ensure that no professionals involved in the provision of this important health care are left out of New York's legal protections. And third, it's going to ensure that courts apply New York's SHIELD law protections. This legislation is urgent. Providing health care, Madam President, should not require bravery, but every day abortion and gender-affirming care providers expose themselves to legal risk. The threats aren't hypothetical. We've already seen a New York provider sued and prosecuted by another state for providing reproductive health care. Providers in our state are afraid. New York needs to do everything it can to protect them. This bill will help ensure that. I vote aye.
Senator Hoyman Siegel to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Mira to explain her vote.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise proudly to vote in favor of this bill to strengthen our state's SHIELD law for reproductive and gender-affirming care. Since the Supreme Court's disastrous decision in Dobbs in June of 2022, so many states have moved to curtail access to abortion, denying millions of women the right to make their own choices about their health and future simply because they live in such a state. New York moved quickly, too, passing protections for patients coming to New York for care and providers serving patients via telehealth. We knew that extreme states would not stop at limiting the rights and liberties of women. They would come after doctors and others who facilitate access to care. These attacks are no longer hypothetical. As we noted, providers are already subject to civil and criminal action by other states for acting within their scope of practice, within New York's law, and providing patients with access to health care. At the same time, states across the country have passed increasingly restrictive laws targeting LGBTQ Americans and making it difficult or sometimes impossible for these people to access health care. I'm proud to vote in favor of this bill today. We are shoring up our state's SHIELD law, providing stronger protection not only for providers, but for individuals and organizations that assist individuals seeking legally protected health care. Let's remember that, legally protected health care. Today, New York proudly reaffirms its commitment to protecting the rights and dignity of women, trans Americans, and so many people for whom health care is being denied simply because they live in a particular state. I proudly vote aye.
Senator Mayer to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Krueger to explain her vote.
Thank you. I rise to also thank my colleagues for ensuring that this bill is passing here today. We've passed protections into our laws. We've passed protections into our Constitution. But we know these situations continue in other states, and people need to turn to New York for the help they cannot get. I myself have a fabulous niece, a brilliant pediatrician, who is running a program funded by the federal government in the state of New Jersey to address the special needs of seriously, physically, and mentally abused children, including care for LGBT young people. And she's been told that the federal government is cutting her program, not because they're anti-abused children per se, but not so much the LGBT abused children. And it is outrageous that we are seeing doctors and scientists being thrown out of incredibly successful programs and research because of the ignorance and fear of people or the political agendas of people. So I'm very glad that New York continues to try to strengthen our laws and be the most respectful and open state in the country for people who have needs when it comes to their own health care or life. And I've said this often now. If you're out there somewhere in the country and you're LGBTQ, come to New York. You're welcome here. You can work, you can live, you can be successfully members of our state. So come on down, everybody. We're a good place to live. I vote yes. Thank you.
Senator Krueger to be recorded in the affirmative. Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 1005, voted in the negative are Senators Ashby, Borrello, Kazay Fitzpatrick, Chan, Griffo, Helming, Lanza, Matera, Murray, Obaracker, O'Mara, Or Palumbo, Rose, Ralston, Steck, Tedisco, Wozik, Weber, and White. Ayes 37, nays 20.
The bill is passed. Senator Gineros, that completes the reading of today's calendar.
Thank you, Madam President. Returning to motions for a moment, on behalf of Senator Clear, I wish to call up Senate Print 1353A, recalled from the Assembly, which is now at the desk.
The Secretary will read.
Calendar number 773, Senate Print 1353A by Senator Clear, enactment of the General Business Law.
Move to reconsider the vote by which the bill was passed.
The Secretary will call the roll on reconsideration.
Adabo, Giannaris Kruger, Ort, Sewell Cousins, White. Ayes 57.
The bill is restored to its place on the third reading calendar.
The following amendments.
The amendments are received.
Is there any further business at the desk?
There is no further business at the desk.
I move to adjourn until Tuesday, May 27th at 3 p.m., with the intervening days being legislative days.
On motion, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, May 27th at 3 p.m., with intervening days being legislative days. Enjoy your Memorial Day.